I'm gonna show y'all how to get a flight to London for a week for under $1,000. Your favorite travel agent can't even do that, okay? On Delta. On Delta. Did I forget to mention this is Delta? So yeah, get in with me.
They catching feelings, you catching flights. Breaking hearts is your only vice. You a hot girl, attitude is ice.
Hey homegirls, it's Maya and I'm back with another budget breakdown. And today we're breaking down my budget for London and Paris. Hey, wee. Okay. The budget breakdown was created to get you in that plane, in that car, on that bus, train, wherever, whatever you need to get on or go to get to your premier worldly destination. Woo! Get you up and out of here. I did recently go to London and Paris. Yay, my first real out of the country trip. Real proud, real grown, So I'll be going over everything from the flight, the hotel, Airbnb, transportation, everything right now. And then at the end of the video, I will be giving you guys my full itinerary. And yeah. So just starting with London. So me and my homegirl went to London and our flight was super cheap. I'm gonna show y'all how to get a flight to London for a week for under $1,000. Your favorite travel agent can't even do that, okay? Okay? Talk to me nice, okay? So I'm a real couponing girly. I learned from the best. I used to literally click coupons on Sundays with my mama. You can learn something from me. So I'm here to give y'all a game. My flight to London, and this is just for me. Only me. My homegirl paid the exact same price. My flight to London, round trip, 5 days, 4 nights, I believe. It might be 6. Might be a little bit more than that. Was $652. I don't remember the change. I just rounded it up to $655 for this video. So round trip to London, $655 on Delta. On Delta. Did I forget to mention this is Delta? So yeah, get in with me. But no, seriously, that was super cheap. So basically what me and my homegirl did was we waited till Travel Tuesday. And for those of you guys that don't know, Travel Tuesday is like the Black Friday for flights. So we waited till about, I don't even think it was noon. I think it was because it was before we had went into the office that day. So it was a Tuesday at 9 or 10 in the morning. And we actually got our flight out of Chicago, which is something I think you guys should consider doing if you are really trying to budget or just find cheaper alternatives to travel that's out of the country. So going to different states or things of that nature, going to another airport in your state that might be a little bit cheaper. I know bigger states have multiple airports. We only have one airport in Michigan that's a real airport that the PJs, I think PJs fly to DTW too, but our other airport that's in Detroit, PJs fly out of it. No civilians really go there. So yeah, look into that. So basically we drove to Chicago and the flight was a lot cheaper. I think it was $100, so maybe $200 cheaper. But on average, flights to London on a regular cost anywhere between $1,000, $1,200 to $2,000 plus. So that was great. Travel Tuesday, y'all should try that for anything that y'all want to do going into the next year. We bought these in December and we went towards the end of February. So that's that. And then we did not stay in Paris, but we did go 2 days back to back. Now, something that I think is important to note, that since you're in Europe, their transportation systems are a lot smoother than ours. So they do have things like the bullet train. So you can take the bullet train, I think it's 6 hours, 7 hours. It might be way more than that to go from London to Italy or London to Belgium or London to Spain. Y'all just need to, look it up and see what that might be. But that's a lot cheaper than you buying a plane ticket to those places. But I do think it's smart for you to go to other, not even other countries. I think it's smart for when and if you travel to Europe, to stay for a long period of time, at least like 2 weeks, because we did stay for a week. It was cool, but I do wish we had more time. And I do wish that we had the opportunity to go to other countries. I think that would have been like a real dope experience. Going to Paris though during that time was dope. So we did take EasyJet. EasyJet is like the Spirit equivalent to like for flights basically to EasyJet. So EasyJet is really quick, it's really efficient, really cheap. So I think our round trip was initially, if we would have bought it like around the time that we bought our other flight, it probably would have been like $30, $40, but it was like 100, 120-ish for Friday. I think it was cheaper, but Saturday it was probably like 120, 150. Friday, I believe it was like close to 100. It was probably like $60, $70 or 60, 70 pounds. That's when we started getting into pounds. So I think it was like, yeah, like 80 pounds for Friday, and I think it was like probably like 120 pounds for Saturday. Yeah, because it's Saturday, like obviously people, fly more frequently on Saturday. And we went at the top of the morning. So EasyJet does have like a bunch of flights, but just keep in mind that everything is military time. So remember that while you're flying and while you're making your own itinerary. But if you plan ahead, or not even plan ahead, excuse me, if you buy them ahead of time, I would look and compare the bullet train prices. So like the Eurostar compared to the flights that they have at the time. I would definitely, weigh your options and see which one is cheaper. The Eurostar might be cheaper, especially if you are with a group or, by yourself and you're traveling to multiple countries. So you're going to Italy or you're going to Belgium or Greenland or like wherever you're going. I think it would be smarter to just get a pass, like a month, 30-day pass or whatever with the Eurostar, so that you can go anywhere. You just have to make sure that because I think it's only the Eurostar. It's one other train, but I think that you should just double check and see where you can and can't go. I think there was something I had looked up. I don't know if it was the Eurostar, so don't quote me. One of the trains I was looking at though, you can do something. It's some type of stipulation, but it should be like the train stations, like New York and like Chicago. You should be able to use that pass unlimited for the whole 30 days. So yeah, that's something that you could do that's super cheap. And even if it's like a day thing or like you're coming back to London overnight, I think that would be dope. And that would be like really fun. And that would also take up a bunch of time for you like during your trip. So yeah, but be on time because they don't play. Like we got left. They don't play. So yeah, so our hotel was 256 pounds, I believe. But it was 165 for my half of the hotel. So I think it was $370, but 200 something pounds. The pound, the euro, both of those currencies. So that's for one is the euro is for Paris and the pound is for the UK, so London. Their currency is worth more than ours. So please keep that in mind, like while you're creating like your expenses list and like making this budget. Their currency is more than ours. I think it's like 150 to 1 of our dollars. So 50 cents more ish. I don't know if it was both of us or one of us. One of us turned in like $500-$600 and got like 300 something back. 300 something pounds back. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so that was our hotel price. So but we did stay right by the airport. So the airport isn't like central London. So depending on what you want to do, I feel like that should be fine. Yeah, we just weren't like super in the mix around like hella people. We were just in like a nice little quiet area by the airport. So yeah, depends on what you like. That was cool for us. The Ubers were kind of expensive to go into central London, so like we went to, so if you do stay at the airport that we stayed at, I'm gonna ask my homegirl for the name and stuff, or I'm gonna look in our messages, one of the two. Yeah, I'm gonna look in our messages and see which hotel my homegirl booked at, and I'm gonna leave it in the link below. And I'm gonna ask my homegirl which hotel we stayed at, and I'm gonna leave it in the description below. But we were just kind of far from a lot of stuff, which wasn't a problem for me, but I think it just depends on what you like, and that kind of just depends on like where you would like to stay. But yeah, it was real quiet. It wasn't in the mix. We actually didn't go to like any clubs or anything while we were there, but we were closer to north west London, I believe. So I think it just depends on what you want to do. So, but that leads me to transportation. So we took PT. We took the public transportation that they had there because it was really efficient. It was great. We took the bus a lot. Bus and Ubers. I would not suggest purchasing a rental car in a country that drives on the opposite side. Please. Just don't even. I'm not going to say it's a waste of money because it depends on where you're going and what you're doing. But I wouldn't do that, especially if you party and you forget that you're supposed to be driving on the left side instead of the right. That's a car accident waiting to happen. You're literally going to off yourself on accident. I would not suggest getting a rental. I'm going to say that in advance. Just, baby, please. Sending that juju to you. Good juju only. Don't do it. Like, just don't do it. So, like I said, we took the bus. So we took the bus and we took public transportation everywhere, like I said, and Ubers. So on average Ubers were like $20 to $30. I'm gonna tell you guys what my most expensive Uber was and what my cheapest Uber was. So my homegirl actually paid for the majority of them. Just being completely honest. She paid for most of them because I literally only have 2 on here, I have 3 on here, which is insane. But wow, my homegirl really let me because I have 3 Uber transactions on here. Yeah, my cheapest Uber was $12.96, and my most expensive Uber was 22 pounds and 27 cents. Yeah, wasn't that bad. Well, they are higher though. Like, I feel like in that light you would think like, oh, like let's get an Uber. Don't even do it, because public transportation was also super cheap. I think that's why I don't have a bunch of Uber transactions, because we took PT a lot. There was a bus stop down the street from our hotel, so we did that for the most part. First day out, we took the bus. Like, we went to like KFC or something, which was dope. That was good. That food was good. I didn't eat no chicken, but yeah, it was good. Please, y'all need to go out the country and try that fast food because it's different. I promise. She had like air fried chicken. It was interesting. But yeah, so as far as transportation, our average Uber was like $20 to $30. I would say our most expensive Uber, which you can take the bus, our most expensive Uber was going to the airport to go to Paris, because those airports were far. Because for some reason they didn't have an EasyJet with the flights that we have, with the times that we needed on EasyJet Airlines at Hearthrow, because that's the airport we stayed on the street from. So yeah, so on average a meal was $30 to $35. This is another thing. I haven't been to a country, I mean, I haven't really been out the country like a lot of times, like, but they don't have good food either. And I don't know if it's like because everything in America is like overly seasoned and like super salty, but they didn't have good food. Paris had better food than London, and maybe that's because we had some really good brunch. Well, not really. We had some good brunch in Paris. Potentially it could be that, but they just, let's just say this wasn't a foodie trip. But yeah, but London girlies, if anybody that's going to London or anybody from the UK sees this, drop some good food for me, because I'll go back. Like, I want to go back to London and Paris really bad. But so getting into excursions, I'm not gonna leave an average price for y'all, because a lot of stuff we did was free, because people were kind of putting us up on game. Like, for example, when we went to Paris, we were talking to the guy at the currency exchange, and he was telling us, like, don't pay to go in the Eiffel Tower. Like, it's not worth it. All you're gonna do is basically just get on the elevator, go up, look down, and come out. And when he said it like that, I was just like, wow, you're from here, and like downplaying it. But when we went, we were like, yeah, we get it. It was beautiful though. Like, don't get us wrong, it was beautiful. But yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment. Maybe when I go back, I'll pay for it, because I think it would be really cute. Especially, I think they have a restaurant inside of the Eiffel Tower, so that would be dope. But the reason I don't want to give y'all an average for the excursions is because most of the stuff we did was free. So now for the full London and Paris itinerary. So this is the London Gals itinerary, day 1. So day 1, we spent the whole day designated to travel, so dub that. Day 2, we arrived in London, got our bags, checked into the hotel, then got lunch, or like brunch. So these were the options: breakfast in Brixton, Cloud 7 restaurant, the Prada Cafe, brunch Oxford, and Sip City. Activity: walk around, visit the London Bridge at the Borough Market. So we actually did get to try like the infamous chocolate strawberries there. They were so good, and they were worth the wait. And the Borough Market is also, I feel like, just in itself something to do. Basically, like, they give you a lot of free samples, everybody's really sweet, and they also have a bunch of restaurants in that area also, so you can designate like an afternoon to that, honestly. We did go to this wine restaurant also, so we kind of got ourselves like a wine tasting, a slight wine tasting, I guess. We just agreed on a bottle that we wanted, and like a mini charcuterie board situation. I'm gonna leave that as well. That was in that area. And then the London Bridge is just in itself like a tourist attraction, so it was just a lot of stuff to do in that area. Then the activity is fair game or Harrods, which is an 8th-floor mall, which has a bunch of stuff in it, obviously. And then dinner / club is Bang London, so that's like a lounge, but they have food. The Eden London, so once again, that's like a lounge, but they have food. Or the Palm House, which is a club, or Sweet One, which is just like a normal standard food spot. And then moving on to day 2, but Paris day 1. So this day we actually went to Disney Paris, and we paid about $120 for our day passes for 2 parks. So that's Universal Studios and Disneyland or Disney World. The tickets would have been cheaper if we would have paid, I think, like 2-3 weeks in advance. The tickets was like $50, $60, $70. They were super cheap. I was super surprised for Disney, because I had never been in Disneyland or Disney World before. So yeah, itinerary day 3, Paris day 2. So early brunch in London. We traveled to Paris by the afternoon, walked around Paris, took photos in front of the Eiffel Tower, and then we had dinner or like lunch in the Eiffel Tower at Francetta or Bambini. Francetta was cool, but Francetta, when we went to Francetta, it's literally like across from the Eiffel Tower, and it's on a boat, but it's like a dock-to-boat restaurant. So we had drinks and stuff there. It was really cute. I also had Bambini listed, Franchetta, you need reservations for. I would heavily suggest that. Bambini, I think, is the same way. And then inside the tower, they also have a restaurant that offers a 6-course meal. I would also highly suggest getting reservations for that. I think Bambini is really difficult to get a reservation for. But I saw people on TikTok able to like finesse their way to get it like the day of. So I'll do my research if you really want to go to that. And then last, I have the Great Restaurant. Day 4 on the itinerary. We're back in London. So brunch at the Sulik Cafe. Dope Bar London, Mayfair, Escobar, or Break the Fast. I think Break the Fast is like a black-owned restaurant. Don't quote me, please. But look it up. Activity at the Crystal Maze or wine tasting. Lunch at Noya London, Chips and Dat, or whatever else. Activity Lane 7, Life Size Monopoly, Bubble Planet, or Gravity. And then evening tea at Tiffany Blue Box Cafe. I believe the Tiffany Blue Box Cafe, their like afternoon tea was 69 or 79 pounds a person, which I think was like $120 a person. Obviously in US currency it's $1. But I think it was worth it. I had a great time. It was cool. And it was in Harrods. It was beautiful. It was just the best location. Yeah. Then dinner at the Ivy Asia, Millie Mello, Deluxe Mana, Soul Mama. Yeah, or Soul Mama. We didn't do any of that. We didn't do it, most of this stuff, but I'm gonna add, like I said, the stuff that we did, because the stuff that we did was it was good. The food was good. Ooh, the food was okay, actually. The food was good. The Indian food that we had was good, though. And then that night, we got prepared for our flight back home. So we left for the airport at 6 a.m. and then we arrived in Amsterdam. So Amsterdam, which this is something y'all should actually look up if y'all don't have a direct flight and y'all have layovers. So once again, I think we had like an 11-hour, 10-hour flight. Maybe a 9-hour flight for real in total. And Amsterdam is so big that they have, well, the Amsterdam airport is so big that they have a museum in it. We didn't get to explore that, but that's something to just note if you're ever on a stop anywhere in like a foreign country. They have a lot of the stuff we don't have. Movie theaters, museums, everything in the airport is so cool. I wish the US had that. But yeah. Oh, also, something that I would love for y'all to keep in mind. I think I'm going to include this in the vlog, but us having to get out of the plane physically and like go down the steps instead of them attaching like the indoor thing to the side of the plane, we had to literally get out of every plane we got on and go straight outside. Like, it was so weird. It was so weird, especially going to Paris twice. We had 4 flights. It was so weird. But they have Xbox and PS5 stations in the airport, so I feel like it's worth it. But yeah, that is my full London and Paris itinerary. Also, just a PSA, if y'all ever use anything in my itineraries or anything like that, please tag me, or not even, just please let me know how your experience was, if you had fun, if you didn't. Like, I'm actually invested. Like, I'm an itinerary girly, and I would just love to see if my itinerary and the things I like and the things I do work for you. And I'm just happy to help regardless. So yeah, that is the budget breakdown for London and Paris, and hopefully I can help. So I guess future reference, I'm happy to help. I'm gonna see y'all next time.